اهتدينا ولا تصدقنا ولا صلينا اللهم لولا أنت ما اهتدينا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. How is everyone doing? What's been happening so far? We are back after a while with another live, so to speak. And I'm actually live on TikTok doing some testing and stuff. And we're going to discuss, is Christianity violent? Or we're just going to go over a few events in Christianity which were supposedly immoral, so to speak. And now, since Christians do this all the time, where they conflate actions of Muslims with the teachings of Islam and so on and so forth, we're going to pose a question if, Christianity is inherently violent or not, and if not, and if they think that, is turn the other cheek kind of religion, why Christians behave like that. And we are going to go through short summarize one event in each century, all the way from 1000 Common Era to, let's say, 1500 or 1600 Common Era. And I can do a lot more. I was just not doing that. But definitely that is something we can look into if someone's interested, or, if it gets someone triggered, or there is some traction in that post, to be honest with you. All right, so let's begin with let me find my Google Docs, and let's do this one first, the short notes. And if someone wants further explanation or look into it more, we can do that. And we're going to discuss role of women in Christianity, how church fathers viewed it, and stuff like that. Alrighty. So let's start with 1096. And let me see. I used to make banners for that stuff, but I don't know if that's there anymore or not. All right, so this is the first one. So this one is the German Crusade begins with the massacre of Jews in many of the region's cities. That's the first event, starting from the 11th century, almost at the end of it, which is 1096. So these were German Crusades which massacred Jews, and it had nothing to do with the Muslims, nothing to do with Islam, nothing to do with any other religion but Christianity, inflicting violence upon Jews. So that's the first one. Second one, we're going to skip almost around 100 years or so, 86 years, and we're going to go to 1182, which would be the resentment of Western merchants, which results in the massacre of Roman Catholics by fellow Christians in Constantinople. So that's the second one. I know there's one event about Khalid ibn Walid or Banu Khuzama and stuff like that, and Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. I don't know how those people forget what Moses used to do and what the first king of Israel used to do, what David used to do, so on and so forth. All they're concerned about is finding out something with Control F on Hadith corpus and try to figure out and find out ways where they can kind of pose an objection to the teachings and the religion and the foundation of Islam. All right, moving on to the Catharist heresy, which would be in 1208. And these are things which, if you do simple Google search, there's no, I know this is not the way or the source to do something, but for these to get these dates right, you can still look up to these things and see what I'm talking about. So this one would be the kind of like a crusade thing, which marked the transition of failed diplomatic and preaching efforts to a brutal military campaign. All right. And it involves a lot of people getting unalived and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm live on TikTok, so gotta be careful with the words and stuff. Don't want to get my profile flagged for no reason. I've had that thrice before without making a big fuss about it. Dawa continues, and that's how things are. All right, moving on to 1233. This is Gregory the Ninth, who sends Dominican friars to root out the remains of the Catharist heresy in France, thus launching the Inquisition. So that's there. That's the highest echelon of people, believed to be, God's most holy people, the popes and, the kings of these sovereign nations. And that's how things are. And moving on to 11 years later, in 1244, the siege of the Catharist stronghold, which ends with 200 heretics that are herded into a wooden stockade, and they were BURNT. Man, it is what it is, man. Someone asked to link to join. Link to join is in the comments now. Link to join is in the comments. Alrighty. Moving on to 1290. This one would be the Jews in England are driven out of the country, soon to be followed by those in France. These are things which are done by Christians, the followers of Jesus, the followers of the mythical man God, who apparently believed in turning the other cheek, which I don't see any Christians doing. I see Christians ripping out the pages of Quran, ripping out the pages of burning the pages of Quran, burning the Qurans, stepping on Quran, throwing Quran in their bathrooms and such, stepping over it and desecrating whichever way they can. Now, for me, there it is. There you go, guys. This is the Bible right here, guys. Okay. I've been reading it for quite some time. Possibly I've had this. I bought two of these, one for my office and one for my home 10 years ago. I think so, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around 2025. Now, if I open the letters of Paul, let's say I go right after Acts, here are the letters of Paul. Right here, you can see this, right? Now it's very easy for me to just pick this page up right here, and start ripping it off. But these are not the teachings of Islam. We give respect to everyone's holy scripture, and we give respect as long as that person has not shown any sign of blaspheming acts towards Islam. We hold these things dear because they are holy to other people. Like you can see on TikTok and now on YouTube. That's Holy Bible. So, and I've been reading this, and I have been reading it. I usually do read my books very carefully and very I would say with a lot of care. So even when I do like highlighting and stuff, I make sure these are, mild highlighters and stuff. and the pages are not bent and stuff. I'm not reading it while I'm in the car or while I'm sitting any which way. But these are the things which I think Christians, especially, they don't get. They do talk about loving the neighbor and turning the other cheeks and stuff. But if you see these Christians, I'm talking about the apologists and the insiders of violence and disturbing the people who love disturbing the peace. They just take books like this, holy books, and by the way, Quran have the names of their prophets in there. If you see these names here, these are the names in the Old Testament. All right, here we go. If you see the Old Testament, you see these names. These names are in there when they're trying to rip the Quran off and the pages off. Basically, if it's in Arabic, most of them have the English version of it, like this. But if they have the Arabic version, that would say word for word the names of the prophets which are in the Bible. For example, Ibrahim alayhi salam is gonna be here. Musa alayhi salam is gonna be here. Isa alayhi salam is gonna be here. Yunus alayhi salam is gonna be here. Idris alayhi salam is gonna be here. Um, Nuh alayhi salam is going to be here. Adam alayhi salam is going to be here. So when you're ripping those things off, you're basically ripping off the names of your prophets and God, and trying to just do this instead of intellectually engaging in arguments. You're basically doing these things. And when pointed out, I can point out a lot of things in here which talks about Jesus saying that, I have come to bring excuse me, I have come with a sword, or I have come to pit man against his family. I wish this world was already kindled, stuff like that. But anyways, that was this thing. Uh, Back to our discussion about, um, I would say, let's do this, 1310. 54 Knights Templars uh, are, again, BURNT, at the stake during the campaign of the French king to destroy the order. So that's there. And it just goes on. There are a few things which I can share on TikTok. You can look up. You can look up for yourself. 1348. What happened with Jews? All by Christians. Then you have 1415. About incident about John Huss, and under the promise he was invited somewhere and got arrested, and a trial was held and something happened to him and he was labeled a heretic. I just feel a little bit restricted because of TikTok here. I can't talk much about these things in depth, but I have these things on my YouTube if someone wants to go and check. 1492, again, Torquemada persuades Ferdinand and Isabella to expel from Spain all the Jews, around 160,000 of them, who will not convert to Christianity. So that's there. Let's check something up on this TikTok account if I can. Reduce the volume all the way down. And here we go. Then moving on to 1516, where the original ghetto was established as a district to which Jews of Venice are confined. And this is all done by Christians. Okay. And moving on to, I think I'm missing some because I didn't make all the banners. I didn't have the time. Let's do this one. 1520, 80 distinguished Swedish citizens were, offed together on the main square in what becomes as the Stockholm bloodbath. Okay, 1520 again. Luther's writings were burned. 1522 outlawed by the Edict of Worms. Luther, I'm talking about Martin Luther, lived secretly as Junker George. So things like that been happening. 1525, Muslims throughout the Spains were ordered to convert to Christianity or to leave the kingdom. So that's there. 1534, 3,000 Waldenses are off as heretics in the village of Provence. 1546, David Beaton, the Archbishop of St. Andrews, he BURNS, a leading Protestant, George Wishart. Okay, there are another 1555 Protestant martyrs were there. Duke Alba kills the heretics. Duke Alba unalives the heretics in Netherlands. 1572, another offing in Paris of French Protestants happening. I prefer joining other people's lives and talking with other people, and that way I can really focus on the meat and potatoes of the subject and have my tongue filtered for a TikTok. With YouTube and this, it kind of becomes different when you have banners and such you're reading and. But anyways, there were more persecutions in 1585 and more unaliving Catholics versus Protestants. 1608, Pilgrim Fathers seek religious freedom in Holland. 1632, Galileo and Church had a problem. And then to top it all off was William Tyndale, which I saved for the last. And everybody knows he translated Bible, and it was not received well by the authorities, so to speak. And I think these events are closely related to the sixth king of Scotland became the first king of England and asked his editors and people in charge to translate the Bible itself. Now, getting away from all of these things, we're going to do something fun. We're going to react to a bunch of Instagram videos, and we'll see where Christianity is heading, to be honest. Now, I do have a few things to share. I don't know if I can show you a few tweets and stuff where people be tweaking about Christianity and talking about different stuff. I don't know what they're talking about, but that's how confused Christians are. Wherever you look, there is a confusion thing going on. Anyways, so let's do someone Sanhedrin or San. I prefer saying Sanhedrin, but some people in America do say Sanhedrin. Sanhedrin Nasi. I don't know if you're a Jewish person or not, but that means the president of Sanhedrin. Like the life. Thank you very much. Let's do. So there are a few things which Christians say. Where is it? Why is this not coming? Then you add this to this day, sorry. So let me just, if I can flip the camera. I'm not sure if I can from here. Actually, just let it be like this for now. So this tweet states that unclear why Jesus was unalive for our sins. No one asked him to do that. Kind of seems weird that he keeps holding that over our heads, like a mom who slams cabinet on Thanksgiving and insists everything is fine. Okay. So this is the state of Christians, to be honest, guys, and this is what they're doing. The apologists are working overtime to make Christians come back to Christianity, but I don't think they want to do that, in all honesty. Now, this is interesting, guys. This is a mind blowing thing. Oh, sorry, let me remove this Tyndall guy from here. Sorry about that. So this one states that Vatican sets up dedicated Muslim prayer room at the heart of Pope's 500-year-old library. And I can't tell you how many Protestants were tweaking and twitching about this thing. Uh, I mean, if all you need is what Paul states, that if you believe that Jesus was here and he was unalived and suffered, I would say TikTok friendly that Jesus was Jesus's works on the cross, that is enough for your salvation. Now, if that is true, then Protestants tweaking about these things, they don't really make sense, to be honest. So, it's kind of confusing how a single religion would have so many different things where there are Christians who are calling Pope Satan. Now, imagine that, guys. Which is why there is confusion all over the doctrine. Nobody knows how you're saved in Christianity. Nobody knows that, which is a shame, to be honest with you. Now, we're going to try finishing 4 or 5 of these things before we head over to Instagram. This one is, yeah, this of my comment got like so many likes on Thread and Twitter. It kind of blew up and had like 14,000 impressions. This one states that I said that Mormons have more proof of their revelation than Christians for their canonical gospels, which would be, if they're written correctly, Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. And a lot of people liked it, and I commented on this, I think, couple of things about the testimonies of the 3 and the other 8, and people were just like, in shock and disbelief as to, what this person's saying and why this person's saying whatever this person's saying. But, these are the fruits and vegetables of Christianity. All right. I think I have something more funny somewhere. This would be Jesus praying to the Father in the Garden of Gethsemane a night before. Now, we don't know what night it was, since one gospel said he was crucified on the preparation day of Passover or preparation day of Sabbath. I don't know what it was. If you're charitable, you can say Passover, but if you really want to be like Christian apologists, you can say it could be for Sabbath, and then the other one would be Friday. So this one says that Jesus said, "Are you there, Dad? It's me, you." Okay. Oh boy. You know, it's what it is, man. It is what it is. Did some other tweets and stuff. Just trying to find that for you guys. And had some scholarship as well, but gonna go over that later. There was this one person. There was this one person who was talking about the canonical gospels and stuff. Look at this guy. This guy is big into philosophy and stuff, and I actually replied to his tweet. Look at his spelling for ecumenical. I wonder if he even knows what the meaning of ecumenical is, which is, it's kind of like a World Cup, so to speak. If you want to remember it, I can definitely give you the definition of it. But if everyone's included, kind of like ecumenical. And look at his spelling for canon. He thinks it's like a fodder for to put things in and throw it out like Trump. But that's not how canon is spelled, my friend. All right. That's enough about Nick and his comedy. And we are gonna look into so this one's kind of controversial, so to speak. Depends especially if you're in Canada or California and stuff like that. So this is an Anglican priestess. She was partnering with someone who is into adult toys and shop, and she was giving away hundreds of free, things for women, and then donating any profits from her affiliation to the Planned Parenthood. So this is, and someone who's probably a Catholic commented on this, retweeted and commented that, Luther and his consequences. But apparently, since there is no sin in Christianity, she'd be okay with this. Depends on how you look at it, guys. Not from an Islamic point of view, but definitely something to look into. And we are gonna be discussing, look at the Western Christian culture. All right, guys. So this is Bible teacher arrested for 14 counts of SA towards minors. And someone said, not a Muslim. You know what Muslim means. So not a Muslim, not an immigrant, and not a trans. That's what it is, guys. That's what it is. Now let's go to Instagram, have some fun there, and bounce, call it a day. Can't show this on TikTok. This one we definitely can. Actually, just let it be on TikTok. You're gonna call it off. And focus on the YouTube. All right, share screen, Instagram. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Take good care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu.
الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما